It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Good morning, everyone. It's Gary Kayye and Steph Beckett, and Steph is back
from vacation. Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, well, you told everyone about your vacation. You said you were going to go to Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
And you were going to do the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil book tour.
I did.
How was it?
It was fun. I toured so it's the Mercer Williams house, which I think this took place in like the 80s. John Williams, who was the owner of the house at the time, had a gentleman in his office. Some kind of altercation happened, and John Williams shot this other man. So I toured the house, and I got to stand where he shot this other man because it became this huge court case in Savannah that got really famous, and now there's a book and also a movie about it. So it was really cool getting to tour the house where all this happened. And then I went on a ghost tour later, and my tour guide was actually one of the police officers on site when that happened. So it's weird to like fangirl over like crime that happened in real life. But it was kind of a cool experience because this is like something that was really popular throughout the world, and getting to see all of that in real life was really cool.
Was that the best thing that you like? What was the best thing for your week in Savannah? What did you appreciate the most?
Well, I did eat a lot. So I think the food is probably what I appreciated the most. I had a lot of really good fried chicken. Savannah, huge chicken town, had a lot of good chicken. But I think second of all, like I really, really enjoyed touring the Mercer Williams house. It is really beautiful. I highly recommend doing it if you're ever in town. You can only tour the first floor because actually people do live there. But it's really cool to look. John Williams like collected all types of art and stuff. He was really into just like collecting artifacts from all over the world, and he loved to just like go to an antique show and buy a bunch of stuff. So I got to look at a lot of his like antiques and paintings and like learn the history behind them. So I thought that was fun.
That's very cool. I like Savannah a lot. I think it's kind of like the, Hilton Head and Charleston and other southern towns and places like Myrtle Beach and the Outer Banks get all the accolades, but and then you have Augusta with the golf tournament. So Savannah kind of gets kind of a stepchild rap, of those southern beach towns, because it is very industrial. There's a lot of industrial elements to it. It is a port, right?
Yeah, it's a port. So, it was interesting being there during all of the shipping strikes because there were like no boats coming in. And I was like, wait, usually there's boats coming in here.
The 48-hour strike.
Yeah. So once the strike ended, I was like, oh, look, the boats are back. They're doing their job again. So it is very industrial, but it also is very artsy because SCAD is there, the Savannah College of Art and Design. So there's just local artists all over. Like on every corner, there's somebody's art gallery, a little art shop. So I like kind of the mix of like the industrial, like shipping port town, with the artsy scene, with just like a little bit of just classic tourism and history sprinkled in. It really is a lovely place to go and be a tourist. I've enjoyed it so much.
Well, we should also mention we have a lot of friends in the industry who live in the Orlando and Tampa area. I'm here at the E4 experience in California, and Dan Smith, as you know, Steph, who's the EVP of Exertus Alamo, could not make it because he was obviously dealing with closing up his house and figuring out what to do for the hurricane. I'm sure he's evacuated Marion Corrigan, who was on our show last week, the weekend before last. Was it last week? It was last week.
Yes, last week.
Last week from Microsoft and a host of others. AVI SPL's worldwide headquarters is in Tampa. So our hearts are with all of you who are sort of struggling through all of that. It's hitting the coast right now. So we hope it goes well. It looks like it's just going to do a swath right through the middle of Florida. And of course, we know what that feels like, having gone through it, not us personally, but the people of the state of North Carolina having gone through it a couple of weeks ago. So I hope that all goes well, Steph. And I know that you have a lot of friends in the Orlando and Tampa area as well.
I do, yeah. So I'm definitely thinking of those folks. And if you know, I know that it might be a little late to evacuate if you have not done so already, but if you need a couch to stay on, please let me know.
There you go. Stay with Steph.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we also want to mention to you, we have launch week 10 coming up in, I guess, about 2 weeks, right?
In like 10 days. Isn't that crazy?
So launch week 10 is, it's going to be a great event. The graphic there shows the CTS sort of credits that you get, but we also do CEDIA credits on home AV day as well, for continuing education credits as well. And we have, we do have a home AV day, a pro AV day, what are the other 2 days, Steph? EdTech day, and then
EdTech day and experiential day.
Experiential signage day. So it's going to be a great day. If you're in digital signage, UC, pro AV, home AV, this is an event that you should definitely sign up for. Even if you can only go to one session, sign up for the event, because when you register for the whole week, and it gives you access to all the recordings. We're going to do it all live though, but if you want to watch it afterwards, it gives you access to all the recordings, and you do get the CTS credits if you join us live.
Yay!
And congratulations to Shure, who's one of the sponsors of rAVe TV, as you can see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, for hitting their 2025 sustainability goals a daggone year early.
That's awesome.
They had a goal of, by the end of 2025, having 90% recyclable and renewable packaging, and they already hit the goal, Steph, That's year so cool. And 2 months early. Is that pretty cool or what? They beat Apple.
1,500 different packaging pieces for a variety of different products. Converting to sustainable package, so they had more than 1,500 originally, and they converted to sustainable packaging already. So this is a difficult thing to do. So definitely want to give them kudos for doing that. It's initiatives like this that are actually going to make a difference in our industry. So
in the long term, it's going to take a while, but it'll make a difference. We had some bad news last week. ARHT Media, ARHT Media, which is that holographic projection company, who I actually did a session using an ARHT Media, a couple of sessions actually using ARHT Media during the pandemic. They declared bankruptcy. Now that technology is not dead, because their IP and their patents will be bought by probably their competitors. And there are still 2 companies out there. One of those is Proto, who you've actually been inside a Proto box before, I believe, Steph, at ISE. So they're still on the market, doing these, I don't know what you call them, these holographic boxes where you can, on one side, you step in live, and then you can put yourself anywhere in the world in that kind of real life size environment. So I don't think this is not an indication of the industry being dead or anything. I think it's an indication of timing. I think this product was a little bit ahead of its time, and the pandemic hit, and we're still at an office occupancy rate of only 61 to 64%, since the pandemic. So the highest we've gotten is 64%, according to Castle, who tracks that every single month. I get the Castle report, so I think that's the situation, Steph, on that.
I was wondering what your take would be on this, because it's not like it's unoriginal or uncool technology. ARHT Media's everything that they do is really, really cool. So I was wondering if it's just really expensive and people haven't really wanted to put that in their installs. It might be a little too futuristic for what people are thinking. So. Yeah.
I think it's a little ahead of its time. I think the office occupancy issue, the instability, just a series of different things. And I really think it's ahead of it. I think, if this stuff debuted 5 years from now, it's because 5 years from now, it's going to be more normalized. You're going to have Logitech with the Ghost product out there. You're going to have Starline from Google out there. So I think it'll do well if they bring it, if they bring it back out. And of course, Proto says they're doing well as well. You can read that story on our website at ravepubs.com. And speaking of which, with regard to doing well, CEDIA and CIX released their numbers, and it was 15,200 attendees at the show you and I went to, and our team went to in Denver. And what I think is most interesting there is, although the attendance numbers are not as high as everyone would like to see, I mean, the show is like all shows, with the exception of ISE in our industry, are struggling to get back to the normals that were the numbers they were before.
Right.
All of them, right? I mean, 31% of the people who were there were new attendees. So that bodes well for the future of this show, and I think all shows. I think that's a number very similar to what Infocom had, and so I think the industry, more new people you can get at a show like that, the quicker our industry is going to grow. So I'm excited about that. The whole story with all the data that they released is on our website if you want to check that out. And they are committed. I talked to Jason McGraw at the show, Steph. They are committed to their new show, CIX. So it was only in its second year, which is co-located there, as you know. They're committed to continuing that show. And of course, CEDIA as a show is the industry's premier high-end residential show. And they're partnering with us. I should mention the CEDIA Association, CEDIA.net, is partnering with us, Steph, for Home AV Day of launch week. So if you are interested in learning more about the high-end residential market, the fact that they're partnering with us on that, I think means something, especially that we're getting continuing education credits too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of, I guess, a bunch of small news stories this week of like new product launches. Mm-hmm. Nothing like amazing. Okay. There's some exciting things though. We have AudioControl introduced the model 4800D, which is basically just an 8x8 audio matrix, which they've had before, right? To do, whole home. But now they've added Dante, and you see more and more. SoundTube added Dante at CEDIA. You see more and more companies adding Dante, which is a commercial networking audio standard for sending audio across a network. I should say standard. It's not, it's a protocol, but or an ecosystem really is a better word. But the fact that it's in the home market means that we're treating the home more like the commercial market stuff. There's a lot of merging there.
Yeah, I think that this kind of follows a lot of what CEDIA Expo, like all of the trends that Jason was kind of talking about, where he's seeing a lot of people go from home installs to commercial, and maybe even some from commercial into home. So, I mean, this kind of makes sense that one trend would follow another trend, and that we'd start treating one area like another area, as we're seeing a lot of those integrators are the same integrators now. So
yeah, I mean, when I built my house, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever, actually 15 years ago, in Currituck, I put stereo audio in each room, left and right.
Yeah.
But when I reintegrated the AV, I put in mono, right? Obviously, and be able to do Dante would have even been better, right? Because I do have network cables running. Mm-hmm. So I think that there was a time where we felt like we were trying to emulate what we were doing, what we're getting in a high-end hi-fi listening environment throughout the entire house. Now we realize, wait a minute, all we really want is to be able to hear the music when we're walking.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Dante, again, which was originally a way to send audio across the network, and in any kind of commercial live events environment, even potentially, it's like the home market is, well, why not use that too? Like, why not adopt that? So I think you're going to see more companies, and that's basically the new feature there. We do want to play a piece from Legrand, who's one of our sponsors. You can see from the middle bottom of the screen there, because they have shipped the new Chief tiled DV LED universal mount system, which we debuted on this show. We were the first to show it before ISE. And then we showed it again at Infocom. We shot a video of it. That is actually shipping. So check this video out.
Cool. So, in other exciting news, registration is now open for ISE 2025, which is wild that we're already talking about that. It feels like it just happened. But it's going to be February 4th through 7th, 2025. Here's a fun little video behind us. So, and if you use the code RAVEPUBS, all one word, all uppercase, or I guess it doesn't really matter what case you make it, then you get free show floor registration. So, all you have to do is get yourself there and get a hotel, basically. But
And you should go.
You should go.
If you've
This
been curious
show-
about this show, or you've been
Mhm.
wondering, Barcelona is a great town. There's a lot of hotels. It's not overpriced. The
Yeah.
food is good.
Food is good.
And the show is phenomenal. You should definitely go. If you're on the fence about going, go ahead and register. Use our code RAVEPUBS. Go ahead and register. Pass that code on to other people. Go ahead, because it is free. We're the first ones to get a free code out there. And and look, at least it's not in the middle of winter, right? I mean, it's warm. It's actually not been uncomfortable at all. And Barcelona is a cool place. I like Barcelona.
Yeah. No, Barcelona is awesome. I think I told you this, that I only attended one ISE that was not in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I like it so much more. I love Spain. I would live there.
There you go.
Y'all could just leave me there when you go home. So I can't love this show anymore. And also in terms of all of the technology that is there, this really does set the pace and the standard for what types of technology are going to really be big in AV all year long. So if you're really, really looking to see like what's going to be big in 2025, like this is the show that you want to attend. So
Agreed. In fact, most manufacturers that used to introduce their products in and around Infocom have shifted to ISE, even for the products that are 6 to 8 months away.
Right.
Like the Chief product that you just saw. And in fact, LG showed their EV chargers at ISE earlier this year as well. And they just started shipping those. That's a great market for the home AV and the Pro AV integrator to get into.
Yeah.
Because you think about the applications, put them in a home, obviously, we know if you have an electric car, but in an office application, if you're there selling them conference rooms, boardroom rooms, meeting rooms, they're probably thinking about putting in electric chargers or EV chargers for the people using hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and electric cars. Why not take a shot? Why not say, look, I can handle those as well? Why not take a shot and sell those? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so.
So want to talk about Extron next?
Sure. So they have a new, they added a bunch of features to their Quantum Ultra software, which is called EMS Express Mobile. And they have a mobile version of the software now too. But the Quantum Ultra is, that's the kind of product that you put into a command and control center as an example, Steph. And so they make control a lot easier. That's the key story here. And when you have a product like that, that's pretty substantial because you have a lot of inputs going into it, and a lot of display outputs. So so that's on our website. You can go check out all these stories that we're talking about. You can scan the QR code if you're using your mobile device. If not, you go to ravepubs.com. You can see all the stories we're talking about here. And one of the stories I wrote a blog about. The AV cloud is finally here on behalf of Excite. Excite is, kind of creating a standard in a way for cloud AV. Now, here's the deal. You have all these companies like Shure. Shure introduced Shure Cloud last week or 2 weeks ago on our show. And you have, companies like Planar and others that have introduced their own cloud management systems. But Excite can layer on top of all of those. So if you're using any of those, you still can use Excite. I was talking about Excite yesterday at the E4, and everyone was really excited about the possibility of how you could use one interface for all these different. And in fact, it was one of the questions that came up was, it just seems like everyone's excited about the cloud, but it seems like it's the Wild West with all these different methodologies for doing it.
Yep.
So I put together a piece that kind of explains the direction that Excite is going. And it is on our website. It's a highlight at the top of the site because it's a sponsored piece, but it's educational. Either way, you'll learn something from it, and you can see it at ravepubs.com. In fact, we're going to do an AV Cloud Summit, our Cloud AV Summit, I should say. I don't have a graphic for that, and I apologize. We'll talk about that next week, but that summit is going to be I can't even remember the date of it, unfortunately. Maybe Carrie will tell us, our producer, because she has access to a lot more of that kind of stuff than I do right now. But we are going to do an AV Cloud Summit, a Cloud AV Summit, which is going to kind of cover everything that you need to know about the cloud and why it's important and how you would leverage it, and why you should care about it, things like that. So I hope that you'll actually attend. It is when is it? Isn't it November, Steph?
It's November 13th
Okay.
at noon Eastern, and it's certified for 0.5 CTS RUs.
There you go. So if you want to register for that, you can go to ravepubs.com. Or sorry, you go to launch.com, LAVNCH.com, and register for that. We'll cover more about that because we get closer to it. But Steph, I know you already talked about this in the earlier broadcast, but I thought I'd bring it up again. Your temperature check survey. What do you think? How's it going?
It's going well. So this is kind of like a funky topic. I mean, not really, but it's still kind of new in terms of AV. So I'm asking about security this month, both physical and cyber. So I'm asking, how often do you integrate physical security solutions? I'm curious. How would you rate the importance of cybersecurity measures when deploying AV solutions? And my last question is, have you or your clients experienced any cyber attacks or breaches related to your AV systems? So please go and answer this. This is kind of important because I kind of work this into coverage if a lot of you answer questions a certain way. And we're also giving away 2 $50 Amazon gift cards. So even more reason to go and answer, because we give them away to 2 random respondents each month. So thank you in advance. I hope you guys answer it.
Please do. Help stuff out because it helps her with some content. Speaking of content, we've got a piece from Shure, who's also a sponsor, as you know, of rAVe TV. Thank you for doing that, on how you can fix the frustration of poor audio, which we do experience every once in a while as well. So check this piece out.
The evolving nature of the way we work today has outpaced existing office designs, prompting companies to bring employees back to work to address communication and culture challenges. Even though mixed-mode meetings are here to stay, technology purchases are often hurried, as companies settle for good enough devices, which negatively impact the overall meeting experience.
Hope you received the report I sent across.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you please say that again?
Then can you check your device or rejoin?
Poor audio during meetings drives the circle of frustration. To overcome such communication challenges, employers look to bring people back to offices, but employees want flexibility. The right audio equipment can solve this, and involving key stakeholders in this decision-making process is key. It's time to break this cycle of frustration by investing in best-in-class communication and collaboration technology. This includes high-quality meeting room systems, microphones, speakers, headphones, as well as software tools that help reduce background noise, echo, and other audio issues, ensuring not only productive, but engaging and inclusive hybrid meetings for all participants. Don't let low audio quality come in the way of your performance.
Okay.
An interesting thing, as Steph was out on vacation, I put the news lineup together. So that's why you have these weird collection of stories and less organization to it. But an interesting thing, as I was doing research on which stories to cover this week, a story from June trended back up as one of our top 5 stories on our website. And it is a story about, it was actually written by Trevor Cook. It was about security, cybersecurity stuff. I don't know. Did you know that this story had trended back up?
It actually trends kind of randomly throughout the year.
Okay.
So I think that this is just one that has good SEO. So I think that this comes up when people Google stuff.
Well, it's about how people use plain old passwords, like and lists like the most popular passwords used by people. And I'm sad to say that I was, when that story came out originally, I saw one of my passwords or a very close version of what I was using. in that list and quickly
Yeah.
changed it. And I've now gone to those super encrypted passwords that Apple gives you, where it tells you, can you use our password? So that piece is on our website. So I think it's kind of interesting that thing has popped back up.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think this is real though. I mean, I know a lot of common pins are 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, but I would bet money that a lot of AV people, these are all music people, okay? A lot of these music people, they're dudes who are around your age. What are dudes who are around your age like? Van Halen. What's in Van Halen? 5150. I bet you so many AV men have 5150 as their pins. I would bet money.
Yeah, maybe. You're probably right. So, Steph, you wrote up a piece on, I should say, you partnered with Avixa on a piece on the, the pay equity status in our industry and what that progress is. I mean, there was a significant difference in pay in our industry between men and women, for example. What's the status on that? And tell me about that article. It is on our website.
Yes. So this is by Peter Hansen. He works for Avixa. He kind of is a data scientist. So he does a piece like this once per year. And the first one that they published in 2021 said that the pay gap was between men and women was between 79 and 89%. And now the analysis is saying that the pay gap is between 86 and 94%. So basically, the new data suggests that women earn between 86 and 94% of what men do, which doesn't seem like that's a huge change, but it really, really is, considering that it used to be between 79 and 89. So this is really good. Obviously, there's still more work to do. There shouldn't be a range at all when you really think about it, but this is really, really exciting and good news for the industry. So this is really good news, and just I think just really something exciting for the future of pro AV, because the AV industry, we're known for being, ahead in technology, behind in a little pretty much everything else. But I think that this is good news that we're moving in a really good direction as an industry.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know the exact number, but the global number is in the range of 25% difference, 75 to an index of 75. So we're doing much better than the rest of the world. But yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be difference at all. So hopefully bringing focus on it will make people aware of it, which will help enact the change there too. And hopefully the next year you report this stuff, there won't be one. So
there won't be one.
It'll be close. That was like almost a 10% change. That's
exciting. Since 2021, and I've been here since then, so I've been able to witness these changes, and I do feel like I have seen more women in the industry in the past 3 years, which is exciting. So I really, really do think this industry is moving in a positive direction. All of the work, like the grassroots work that organizations are doing to recruit students out of high school and out of trade schools and out of colleges, is doing really good work. So yeah, keep it up, everybody. We're doing good stuff.
So on other news, AVer today, we'll get this story on our website right after our broadcast. AVer literally just launched the news that their VC 520 Pro 3 is now Microsoft Teams certified. So, obviously, most of the installs that they do are going into UC applications. They need that Teams and Zoom certification. So this is big news for those that are supporting Teams. So congratulations to AVer. And by the way, AVer is a sponsor of rAVe TV, and we want to thank them for their sponsorship and continuing ongoing support. So Steph, there's a piece on our website about building emotional experiences in AV that is kind of a recap of the AV Superpower live event that was done. So I think one of your interns wrote this up, right?
Yes, Clara, she wrote this. So this was actually a really fun launch and learn that I was not originally going to be hosting, but I think Megan couldn't make it, so I ended up taking over for her. And I honestly had a really good time. And Clara, who wrote this write-up, was like, this was so fun to watch. Like, this was awesome. Like, because everyone was just excited to talk about all of this. So it ended up being really cool. We talked about everything from kiss cams at sporting events to projection mapping, to certain events where you need to, not use as much technology, how it's more powerful to strip a lot of that away. So it was really awesome. We had a good time. So go ahead and give it a read if you're interested, and you can even watch it on demand if you would like to.
If you're a member of LAVNCH, you can watch all of our launch events. Just so if you haven't joined yet, go to launch.com, LAVNCH.com, set up an account. And the case study of the week is a house of worship study on our website. And Psalmist Baptist Church was transformed using Meyer Sound's Panther loudspeaker and line arrays. I'll tell you what, you know what I liked about writing up this piece?
What?
Or at least submitting this piece, I should say, was how cool the images were.
Yeah.
The photographer did a really good job shooting this church. So you want to see, there's more than that one picture we're showing there. There's some others on there too. So you want to check that out. Go to ravepubs.com. If you're in the House of Worship market, we're going to include this story in our House of Worship publication that will come out soon this month. And just last reminder before we sign off for today, we do have a registration open for Launch Week 10, which starts in, as Steph said, 10 days.
10 days.
We want you to attend. We want you to be there. And even if you can only attend one session, register so that you have access to all the sessions, and you can get both AVIXA CTS credits, but also continuing education credits from CEDIA. We're partnering with CEDIA Association on the Home AV Day. And which day is the Home AV Day, Steph? Is it the second day? Third day.
I think it's the third day. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, third day. So, we hope to see as many of you there as possible. We love doing these launch events. And Steph, it's great to have you back. I'm glad you had fun on your vacation.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I feel revitalized. That was the first vacation I've taken this year. So I was like, oh, wow, like I needed that. So I feel revitalized, got a lot of energy. I'm ready to hit the rest of this year and, hit the ground running, get some stuff done. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for joining us for rAVe TV. Thanks for Kayye for producing. And we'll see you next week, same time. And we'll restream this at noon, as you know, so those in California who are still asleep, except for me, can watch this streamed as well. But, you can always watch it at ravepubs.com. Click on the rAVe TV link. And Steph, I'll see you later.
See you later, Gary. Bye.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary.